Welcome to another instalment of Fat Potato Cooks with me, Raj and I. Today we'll be making Golgappas, or Pani Puris, or Puchkas. Depending on which part of India you're from, they're all the same thing, just by a different name. They're great. Let's take a look and see what we're aiming for. Look our hole in, and then we fill these with a little bit of potato, some chickpeas, and some onion. And then take our water, pour those in there, and then we just eat this in one go. Cheers, cheers. And this is how we do it. For today's recipe, we'll need the following for stage one. Stage one is basically getting the pani, or the spicy water, ready and popped in the fridge that we can use it for later. What do we need for that? We'll need our sweet chili tamarind chutney that we made from the previous video that's been in the fridge. We'll also need our coriander and mint chutney that we also made in a previous video that's also been in the fridge. We need a jug for mixing, some water, and then a small bottle to pour it all into and then pop it in the fridge because we'll need that when we're ready to assemble everything. So all we need to do first is add our chutney in. So let's use a spoon. Not very pleasant, but there you go. Just pop our chutney in, followed by our sweet tamarind. Followed by water. And just give this a good stir. Once it's stirred, we'll take a funnel and we'll just pour it into our bottle so we can put this in the fridge. And there we have it. Pop a lid on. And that's our spicy water. I'm going to pop that in the fridge and take it out when we're ready. For part two, we'll be making the puris. It's very simple. First we'll take some coarse yellow semolina and some water. Combine the two, make a dough. That's it, that's all there is to this piece. So let's add the water. And we don't need too much water. We'll just do this a little at a time. Once we get a consistency of breadcrumbs and it forms a dough and it keeps itself, that's it. That's as much water as we need. All we do now is knead it till it's smooth and then we'll leave it to rest. Now we've let our dough rest for a while, let's unwrap it and move on to the next stage. Next stage is to just break a small piece off, and the remainder we'll keep under a damp cloth just to keep it nice and moist. With the bit that we've broken off, just need to make a long worm. And then we'll just break off thumb-sized bits. And then make these bits into balls. Once we have our first batch ready to roll, we'll need a textured flat tray, which is slightly dampened, so we'll just dampen that. We'll move this out of the way. And we'll get a little bit of flour just to sprinkle over the balls. That will stop them sticking together. Do that out of the way. And then we'll just get the roller, and stop everything sticking. First thing we do, take a puri and roll. And we'll put this on our tray. And we'll just keep doing this until we finish. So we now have our first batch to fry up. Now the important thing is that the reason for the textured tray is because some of the wetness or the dampness will stay underneath and the top surface will dry. We need to let these sit now for about 10 minutes. So what we're after is a dry surface on the top and a slightly wetter surface on the bottom. And as you'll find out later, the reason for having the dry surface is that becomes our base, and the wet surface, when the balls puff up, that's the side that you crack to make your hole, put the filling in. So let's leave this now for about 10 minutes. We just need a bit of a dry surface, and then we'll just pop them in the oil. Sort of dry side up, and once they're in the oil, we'll just coat them and keep them submerged. There we go. And they should now puff up. There we go. That's number one. A nice ball there. And we'll just keep doing these until we're finished. Just keep them going. There we go. Once we're happy with the colour, we'll just pop them out and put them on the drying tray. We'll just keep going now until we have a big selection to choose from. Here we are at the final stage, the construction phase of our Pani Puris. What do we need? Well, as you can see, we have a nice selection there of puris that we fried earlier. And here we have our spicy pani that we made earlier. What I like to do is just decant that into a bowl. It's a small jug. Oops. That makes life a lot easier for us. And next, all we do, I like lining them up by the way. And you'll see that these ones, they've got a thick side and a thin side. All we do is poke our hole in, and then we fill these with a little bit of potato, some chickpeas, and some onion. And then our water. Now this is the crunch. Are these watertight? All those in there. And then we just eat this in one go. Cheers, cheers.